Happy homecoming, Maples. Hello, I'm Jenny Engel, Director of the Adrian Schools Educational Foundation and the Adrian High School Alumni Association. Welcome to the Julianne and George Argyros Performing Arts Center, and thank you all for being here. This is the Foundation's 35th year and our 15th annual Outstanding Teacher and Mentor and Outstanding Alumni Awards night. What a very special night for Adrian Public Schools, the Foundation, and the Alumni Association. Before we begin the awards program, I'd like to introduce our superintendent, Mr. Nate Parker, who will also add his welcome.
Thank you, Jenny. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. As a school principal, there are always a multitude of events to attend, but this is one night that I always made sure to have on my calendar. This is one of those events that illuminates everything that we do as a school district and community. Seeing our APS alumni fulfilling our mission and recognizing the efforts of the teachers and mentors that motivate, inspire, and give students the skills to succeed and impact the world. I want to sincerely thank the Education Foundation for what they do for our schools and our students. We could start with the almost $100,000 this year alone awarded through classroom grants, or the 50-plus students participating in the elementary honors choir funded with an Education Foundation grant. And truly could go on all night about all the other incredible things that they do to have an impact on our students and staff. I've always been very appreciative of their contributions, but now with an office in the same space as the Education Foundation, I see on a day-to-day basis the planning, coordinating, and organizing that goes into making the Adrian Education Foundation such a powerful partner for the schools, and truly the envy of many other districts and foundations. Seeing the work that Jenny Engel and Carrie Butler do on a day-to-day basis, and seeing their passion and commitment to the foundation and Adrian Public Schools is inspiring. This also could not happen without the leadership of Jay Van Buren and the Adrian Education Foundation Board of Directors. Thank you for your selfless commitment and the time you put in for the foundation. To all the community members, alumni, individual businesses, and other donors, you have my gratitude for helping us to give our kids a top-notch education. I would also like to recognize a few of our National Honor Society members who have joined us for the night. If you would please stand. Noel Nelson, Andrew Welsh, Emily Hess, Mystica Young, and Ashley Klang. Thank you for being here tonight and representing our student body. It's good to see all of you cross-country team here as well to support your coach. That's great to see. Earlier this week at the Alexander All-Inclusive Playground ribbon cutting, I spoke of the importance of the community and school working together and partnering to create opportunities for students. I was reminded of all the great opportunities that the Adrian community helps us to provide for our students. This includes outstanding facilities, programming, science nights, outdoor classrooms, music, art, and theater programs for all levels, state-of-the-art STEM spaces, robotics teams, career and technical education, dual enrollment, and an international baccalaureate program, to name just a few. At a recent meeting with school staff and community members, we reviewed what we are offering as a district to ensure that our students graduate with not just a diploma, but also some level of college credit, career preparation, or other real-life experience. This list was truly incredible. We offer life-changing opportunities for our students, and the Education Foundation plays a huge role in that. The reason I mentioned earlier that I always put this night on my calendar, and that I believe it illuminates everything we do, is because of the people we are recognizing tonight. Every year we hear about the incredible impact APS alumni are having on their professions and on the world. But we also hear from them the impact that Adrian Public Schools and their time here has on their success. Every school has a mission statement, but there's not a better summation of a school's mission than that. Thank you for being with us tonight, Bruce Brown, Heather Yerrick, and Stuart MacDonald, and for representing Adrian Public Schools so well. As we look to launch a program we are calling Aspire, Adrian Schools Project Inspire Resilience and Excellence, with the goal of seeing every one of our students leave our school with the resilience and skills to excel in their post-secondary pursuits. Your example and your story help us to inspire our students and demonstrate how education is their pathway to success. Tonight, we're also recognizing the current teachers who are impacting the next wave of outstanding alumni that will go out and impact the world. Congratulations, Tracey, Tom, and Ashley. Thank you for all that you do. These teachers and mentors are representing all of their colleagues who stepped up to a challenge over the last 2 years, probably never before seen in education. Their dedication to their students in this community was heroic, and the kids in this community are so fortunate to have you. The importance of these educators was never more evident than in the last 2 years, as they were here for this community through the uncertainty of a global pandemic. The partnership on display between the schools and the community to lead and support kids through this pandemic exemplifies why Adrian is such a special place to live and learn. Before I take my seat and enjoy learning the stories of the 6 people that we are honoring tonight, I want to note the 35th anniversary of the Adrian Schools Education Foundation. Author Nelson Henderson said, "The true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit in." Thank you to those individuals, many of them here tonight, that had the vision 35 years ago to create this organization that has grown into a mighty maple that provides so much for this district and this school and this community. Thank you, and enjoy the night.
Thank you so much, Nate. We are thrilled to be a part of the amazing work and learning that takes place throughout Adrian Public Schools. Tonight we will celebrate 6 mighty maples, 3 alumni and 3 teachers and mentors who are outstanding in many ways. I've enjoyed learning more about each recipient as we prepared for this evening. These awards began 15 years ago with an offer of a fund that was set up to award teachers for their impact on students. Terry Keeley, from the Adrian High School class of 1977, began an invested fund so that we could give a stipend of recognition to those teachers and mentors who are recognized. We appreciate Terry's generosity and his willingness to acknowledge the vocation that he appreciated while at Adrian Public Schools. I would personally like to acknowledge the Foundation's office manager, Carrie Holmes Butler, an alum from the Adrian High School class of 1989, who is a pleasure to work alongside and helps keep the office running smoothly. She is also the person that many of you know from planning a class reunion, as she aids and assists alumni in that capacity. Carrie helped with many reunions already this year. Thanks to Ken Kintner for producing tonight's introductory videos and taping the event that will appear on the Foundation's website in the coming weeks. Thanks to Carla Holmes for the great voiceovers for the video and all that you still do today to ensure that our office runs smoothly. You have been a great mentor to me and a great friend. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize the volunteers who helped tonight and the ladies that provided desserts that we can all enjoy at the conclusion of this evening's program. Their names are all listed in the program. The Adrian Schools Educational Foundation is celebrating its 35th year. And I would like to thank all of you in the audience who have provided leadership over the years, as well as those who have donated to the foundation. Our sole purpose is to give back to Adrian Public Schools to enhance the educational excellence for today's students. The foundation, through the generosity of donors and through the sponsorships of local companies, has given back to the schools nearly $1.5 million over the past 35 years. We do this in the form of classroom grants, curriculum-enhancing projects, and projects that affect the entire buildings. Our focus is to make learning experiences happen for students and teachers that are beyond the district's budget. The foundation created 2 endowments that, as they grow, will continue to provide interest money to be used and to cultivate marvelous maples in the classroom. This year, we were able to award nearly $100,000 through that classroom grant program, providing materials, field trips, and classroom support for projects initiated by our fantastic staff here at Adrian Public Schools. Grants awarded this year will fund experiences that include the Adrian Symphony Orchestra, the Croswell Opera House, the Art Museum, as well as an after-school art club, purchasing musical instruments, and giving students hands-on experiences with elementary school science fairs. Before I turn the microphone over, I'd like to ask that the house lights come up for just a moment. I would like to recognize the Foundation's leadership team, past and present. Would anyone present or past that's a present or past Foundation board member please stand, or just wave. Thanks to all of you for your vision and your leadership over the years. Would any former recipients of our Outstanding Alumni Awards please stand? Or wave. Thanks to all who continue to nominate Maples for these achievements in their lives. And finally, will teachers and staff who have been named Outstanding Teachers and Mentors please stand and be recognized? To all the teachers and staff present tonight, your gift of reaching today's students is appreciated and applauded. And now we'll get started with the awards. To my left is the Adrian Schools Educational Foundation Board President, Jay Van Buren. He'll keep things moving along. Jay, thank you for your service to the foundation and for being our MC tonight.
Welcome and congratulations to our award recipients. This year we're honoring 3 of our outstanding teachers and mentors and 3 of our Adrian High School Outstanding Alumni. We are about to learn the characteristics of success and accomplishment. I think we will be entertained and amazed. So please sit back and relax and enjoy some Maple Pride and the best of Adrian Public Schools. Let's go with our first Outstanding Teaching and Mentoring Award recipient, Tracey DeMeritt.
Tracey DeMeritt is a first grade teacher at Alexander Elementary. There are many attributes that were used to describe Tracey throughout her nomination letters. Amazing was one that was used many times. It describes her willingness to go above and beyond the normal expectations of her students and parents. This might be when she met a family in the school parking lot to set up the child's iPad so the student could do her schoolwork at home because she was sick and couldn't attend class. It might be when she arranged for the parents to read to the classroom via Zoom or Google Classroom when parents weren't allowed in the classroom. It might be her communication that was described as impeccable between herself and the students and their parents. She was described as accessible to all. For example, when a student was distraught because she forgot to turn in her reading worksheet, Tracey FaceTimed her to let her know she could turn it in on Monday and that she should relax and have a good weekend. There were transition times through the pandemic, and the parents mentioned how smoothly the change was accomplished because of Tracey's organizational skills and positive outlook.
I've been able to work with her for a long time here within APS, not just as the principal, but also as a teacher as well, and then an instructional coach. But when I think of Mrs. DeMeritt, I think of a great communicator. She's a great team player, motivator, and she also builds strong relationships with her students, and that's why her students love her so much. The students are very fortunate and very lucky to have her as their classroom teacher, and we of course are very excited that she's part of our Alexander team as well.
Compassion, patience, and kindness were more descriptors found in Tracey's nomination letters. Tracey genuinely cares for her students, and they feel that love. One student said, "I wish I could have her for every single grade." Another mentioned, "Every day is fun, and she is always so happy."
She's very nice, and I like to be in her class. She's my favorite teacher because my brother was in her class, and my brother, once he got home, he told my mom a lot of stuff about first grade, so then I know that my mom said, I hope you're going to be in Miss DeMeritt's class when I was in kindergarten. I like recess more than anything, but most of all, I like everything. I like listening to her read stories. I like her, and I like what she does for us, and we do cool stuff and fun stuff like that. Whenever we get hurt, she always helps us with Band-Aids.
Tracey cares about all of her students. One parent mentioned that Tracey saw that her son, who was not in her class, was having a bad day and took time to talk to him. This made him feel so much better. Creativity is another attribute used to describe Mrs. DeMeritt. The parents and students both mentioned that Tracey's teaching methods are fun and creative and keep the students engaged. Tracey's dedication, creative teaching, caring nature, and positive outlook make her the perfect nominee for this award. Tracey has been a teacher in Adrian Public Schools since 2004. She has taught at Michener, Prairie, Garfield, and Alexander from early elementary through third grade. She graduated from Morenci High School and has advanced degrees in education from Siena Heights University and the University of Phoenix. Tracey says her favorite thing about teaching is watching students grow and learn, not just the curriculum, but learn how to work together in the classroom and how to be a positive role model in the school and community. Tracey is married to Corey, and they have 3 children, Madeline, Annabelle, and Francis.
The best teacher ever. Good job, Mrs. DeMeritt. Congratulations, Mrs. DeMeritt. Congratulations, Miss DeMeritt. Congratulations, Mrs. DeMeritt. Congratulations, Miss DeMeritt. Good job. Good job, Miss DeMeritt.
For being selected one of Adrian Public Schools' outstanding teachers and mentors, please come forward and accept your award.
Jenny says I can talk and she'll give me my award afterwards. I don't have a whole lot to say. I've had weeks to think about this, and thank you. Thank you very much is basically all I have. This is an honor. This is not something I ever asked for or I wished for, but it's an honor to be recognized for it, so thank you.
Our next Outstanding Teaching and Mentoring Award recipient is Tom MacNaughton.
Tom MacNaughton is being recognized as an outstanding coach and mentor for the Adrian High School cross-country team.
He is filming today because I'm going to be recognized as a mentor because your parents wrote a nomination. And so, so what we're doing right now is he's supposed to be filming me coaching. So if you guys can pretend that you're being coached, that'll help a lot for the movie. All right?
Yes, sir, coach.
So yeah, this is what I'm looking for. And Riley's got it perfect. About today's a great day to get better.
His team is considered one of the top programs in the state. His coaching accolades include 3-time cross-country Coach of the Year. In 2020, the Adrian High School boys team finishing 6th in the state in Division II. This was the highest the team had finished in over 50 years. Team member Aiden Smith was also named 2020 Runner of the Year in Lenawee County. This season, Adrian was ranked number 2 in Division II in the preseason, behind only Southeastern Conference White Division foe Chelsea. The girls' team recently won the SEC White Division meet. Winning is important for any team, but winning is not Tom's primary focus. Let us hear in his athletes' words what they see and feel about their coach.
Coach Tom is a great person, mentor, and I'm really blessed to have him in my life. Had him for 4 years for cross, and I'm just very thankful that we have had just such a good coach, and I'm really happy that he's getting this award.
Coach Tom is a great coach. We've went to states all 4 years I've been in cross country, and he gives us all the credit, but I can tell you that not a single one of the guys would put in the work they do without Coach Tom.
He's a super good coach. He always pushes us to be super positive. And he has a really good sense of humor, which he uses with me a lot. And he also, he buys us chocolate milk pretty much every practice except for pre-meet. So we get chocolate milk to get our calories back up after practice, and he does that with his own money that he earns from coaching us. So I think that's super nice.
He's invited us over to his house to have spaghetti dinner, which is just this amazing feeling, this big table with all of us sitting at it as a team. It's really puts us all together.
Cross country is a really hard sport, and I think Coach Tom really makes it easy on us, and he motivates us to be more positive about everything, and he has a positive outlook on everything. He actually invited me to go to some of the practices before I ran, and I've stuck with it for, I think this is my 4th year now. And he's just really inspiring, and he's super nice to us, and we appreciate him so much for everything he does for us.
Coach Tom has done a really good job of making this team a family, and one that I'm really happy to be proud of.
He changed my life so much and made running what I love to do. He cares the world about his athletes, constantly checking to see how we are feeling mentally and physically, always wanting the best for us. He is always there to talk and help everyone with what they need. He is a great role model for us. He doesn't care so much about the winning aspect for the team, but cares for each individual on the team. He encourages us to be good people as well as pushes us in our schooling and all of our sports, not just the one he coaches. He teaches us great life lessons. He always finds a way to make not so fun things seem fun. He has been positive and encouraging throughout my cross-country career. He taught me to always give it my all and strive for the goals I thought were not attainable or realistic. He taught me there is so much more to sports than just the game. He showed me the many life lessons that can come out of them as well. Beyond teammates, Tom's coaching and mentoring has not gone unnoticed by others in his environment. Fellow runner extraordinaire and Adrian High School Principal Sam Skeels contributed this comment to Tom's nomination. Tom MacNaughton is an absolute treasure to our Maple community. Beyond being a legend of a running coach, his passion and gift of building relationships helps kids and adults become successful in life. The positive impact Tom has on so many today will impact many generations to come. Adrian High School Athletic Director Chad O'Brien shared his observations with these thoughts. Tom MacNaughton is the epitome of a coach. He is selfless and cares about producing both athletes and great people. His success with Adrian High School cross country is not a surprise to those who see his interaction with student athletes and his love of coaching. We are blessed to have Tom on our staff in the athletic department and look forward to many years with him shaping and guiding our student athletes. Besides being the Adrian High School cross country coach since 2013, who is Tom MacNaughton? He is an avid runner with a lifetime goal of reaching 50,000 miles, and he's very close to reaching that goal. In 1970, he graduated from Adrian High School and was named an Outstanding Alumni in 2014 for his many community contributions. He graduated from Defiance College with a BS in Math Education. He was most notably director of the Lenawee County Department on Aging for 24 years and has held various community leadership positions in his retirement. He was also an adjunct faculty member at Siena Heights University as an instructor of Intro to Gerontology. He is married to Christine, and they reside in Adrian, where they are involved in numerous community fundraising efforts and events.
Congratulations, Coach Tom.
Congratulations, Coach Tom. Congratulations, Coach Tom.
Congratulations, Coach Tom.
We love you, Coach Tom!
On being selected one of Adrian Public Schools' outstanding teachers and mentors. Please come forward and accept your award.
Well, we were asked to speak for about 3 minutes, so I'm going to take the 2.5 minutes that Tracey left. I really came into coaching as selfish reasons. I've always wanted to be part of cross country. I retired from the Department on Aging when I was 61 years old, which is about 10 years ago. Ryan Bills was the coach, and I asked him if I could just be a helper. I had no idea that I'd eventually be the head coach. But things happened, and I need to give a big thank you to John Roberts for taking a chance on a guy who's 65 years old, starting off as head coach. I never ran cross country in high school and didn't run in college, so I am kind of unique in being a coach of cross country, but boy, is it going well. When I was the director of the Department on Aging, I was part of a committee that selected the Laura Haviland Award, and I know a couple of things about how these awards work. One is that it's as much a reflection of the nominators as it is of the recipient. And the nominators, in my case, we have these outstanding students who are on the cross-country team. Well, they have outstanding parents, and the parents are the ones that kind of made this happen. And it's not a coincidence that Jim Miller was a recipient last year as a mentor. Same runners, same parents who made it happen. And the other thing that happened with the Laura Haviland Award was sometimes we would realize that somebody's about ready to retire, so we would say, well, we better give them the award before they retire. I think this committee was saying, well, geez, at age 70, we better give it to him before he dies. Although I expect to be around for a while and expect to coach for a while. I want to talk a little bit about passion. I think that passion is reflected by it's kind of all you think about, and it's what keeps you awake at night, and it's all you talk about. And by that definition, that's what cross country is to me. It's all I think about, it's what keeps me awake at night, and it's all I talk about. So I have to really thank Christine, because basically from the beginning of June till the end of November, it's all I talk about is cross country. From November to the end of May, then it's only about 70% of what I talk about, but the other 30% is track. And not only does Christine tolerate that, but she also makes the annual pancake breakfast, the annual spaghetti dinner. She does all my typing for anything that's a handout for the kids. So really, thank you so much for putting up with all of this. I read Let Them Lead this past year, and Let Them Lead is a book written by the Ann Arbor Huron hockey coach, and how he turned a losing team into an outstanding one of the best teams in the state. And the idea was that you let the athletes have leadership responsibility, and that's what's happened with our group. We have, well, the people that were up on the screen, they're outstanding leaders, even though they're students in high school. And when you have outstanding students like that, you can let them lead. So when I come to practice now, I almost always give options. And what happens by doing that is I give the option. I mean, Ben Shefka is a great example. Last Monday, we were supposed to run 12 miles. So the options were 8 miles, 10 miles, or 12 miles. And Ben ran 15. But when you give the options, outstanding students will do more. And that's why this group is so successful. I wanted to give an example also of the type of mentor I am. We have a couple of 8th grade cross-country runners at Springbrook who are off the charts intelligent. One of them is Carter Fenner, sitting right here. The other one is Eddie Hendricks. And what I like to do with both of them is try to come up with brain teasers. So for Eddie, this is one of my favorite brain teasers, is I was told that Albert Einstein got in trouble in class. So his teacher, to kill time, wanted him to go outside and add the numbers 1 through 100. So she said, okay, you go out in the hall, you add the numbers 1 to 100, and when you get the total, come back and tell me. He said 5,050. And I love that one because it's 1 plus 100, 2 plus 99, 3 plus 98. So it's 50 combinations of 101. Well, Carter got it right away, which I was impressed by. But I later asked the same question of Eddie. And Eddie's response was, well, there's a formula for that. It's n squared plus 100, or n squared plus n divided by 2. And I said, well, n squared's already 10,000. So, and then he says, and? I said, well, and 100, so 10,100 divided by 2, 5,050. So, I'm the mentor. Eddie walked me through my math problem to explain to me how, how it worked. So that's the type of mentor I am, just so you know. This recognition to be a mentor is as meaningful as it gets for me. If I'm making a positive impact on our cross-country students, I couldn't ask for anything else. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Our third Outstanding Teaching and Mentor Award is presented to Ashley Rudolph.
Ashley Rudolph currently teaches 11th grade English, International Baccalaureate English, International Baccalaureate Theory of Knowledge, and is the Yearbook Advisor at Adrian High School. Her nomination for Outstanding Teacher and Mentor comes from a number of students whose lives she has touched in a most meaningful way. These students noted her to be a great English teacher who wants her students to succeed. Another mentioned that she is a straight-up teacher and gives great advice on life and what work you need to do. They stated that she fosters a learning environment that is healthy and communicative that gives the students the confidence they need to be successful. One of the letters came from a student who transferred into Adrian High School in her junior year. She told of how helpful Ashley was during this transition because she genuinely cares about her students and their goal to be successful. All the students mentioned that they feel she wants what is best for them to reach their goals.
In my opinion, Ms. Rudolph is an outstanding teacher because she cares a lot about her students, not only their academic needs, but their personal needs as well.
She was a fun person to have as a teacher, and she made a hard IB class easier to handle.
There was parts of the year where it was rougher than others, but Ms. Rudolph helped me, as my teacher, try and make it the easiest class.
Last year, my junior year, I had Mrs. Rudolph for IB English, and I think that she really fostered a good learning environment for all of her students in that class.
She went out of her way to listen to me, and not only listen to me, but help fix the problems. And I've noticed that in a lot of students too. It's not just me. She goes out of her way to help their needs.
She just made class an enjoyable experience, even though it was a hard IB curriculum.
Sometimes she would play music, or she would, talk about our outside life or other things we were doing instead of always hammering right into the work we were doing.
I know there was a lot of fun for me. It allowed me to share my knowledge and gain knowledge from the people around me in my community and my class.
One of the stories provided with her nomination came from an international student. It was hard for this student in a new country, a new school, and a completely unknown situation. However, she knew she could rely on Mrs. Rudolph to answer her questions as new situations continued to arise. Without her help, she felt she wouldn't have been able to settle in as quickly as she did. The student added that Mrs. Rudolph motivated her to learn and helped her to see the progress she was making in a foreign language. In addition to things directly related to the classes, she added that Mrs. Rudolph helped the international students understand the culture that helps keep them out of trouble. Ashley grew up and still lives in Jackson. She has always wanted to be a teacher and has a love of languages, in particular English and French. She graduated from Michigan State University with a Bachelor of Arts and Central Michigan University with a Master of Arts in School Principalship. She has been teaching in Adrian Public Schools since March 2012 in grades 7th through 12th. Ashley is married to Cameron, and they have an almost 4-year-old son, Henry.
Congratulations!
Congratulations, Mrs. Rudolph.
Outstanding teachers and mentors, please come forward and accept your award.
Okay. I have often felt like an outsider here because I am not from Lenawee County. I did not attend Adrian High School, and I did not graduate from Adrian College or Siena Heights. I actually had to look at a map to see where Adrian was when I applied for this job. Here is what this place has taught me in the 10 years that I have been here. Adrian has taught me to trust the process and take risks. A certain middle school principal did not initially hire me for the position. The job went to someone who had actual teaching experience in the subject required. I had just finished my student teaching and I understood. So I moved to a small town on the Ohio River and started my first job where I knew absolutely no one. I threw myself into making everything as good as I could because I was so happy to be a teacher. And I gave all of myself to this little school in town for 7 months before Adrian called and asked if I would come interview for the job that I had been denied. I did. I drove 5.5 hours to Adrian and then back down to Indiana in one day. Adrian has helped me be more accepting of change. I have taught 18 different classes under 6 head principals in 2 buildings. Change has been a constant for me. I have learned to become even more flexible. I usually teach 4 different subjects each day, and this keeps me on my toes and also forgetting where I put things and sometimes what I was just doing. Adrian has taught me traditions can vary in different places. I will never forget my first Adrian homecoming when a colleague said that we would take the students to the homecoming parade. I couldn't believe I was supposed to walk my 7th grade students to the street and then make sure that none of them ran away. Where I come from, homecoming parades are at night. The parents are in charge of not losing their own children and making sure that they aren't bumped by a moving vehicle while trying to get a candy bar. I am now quite used to this, and as my high schoolers run to get a good spot for our class, my thought is, they'll come back. Adrian has taught me terms such as townie, subdub, and calf night. I know that an invitation to Trestle Park is not for a brisk power walk. My students have taught me that Throwback Thursday now means music from the early 2000s, around the time that they were born and I was graduating from high school. If you were born in the 1900s, you are old, in case you did not know. Adrian has allowed me to gain teaching experience at the middle school, high school, and college level. I began teaching as an adjunct at Adrian College in 2017. This taught me that my college students are just big high schoolers who have more freedom. My high schoolers are just middle schoolers who learn to drive. And middle schoolers are from outer space. Kids are kids. They are all learning who they are and who they want to be while they gain skills and responsibility. Being able to teach 7th graders through college seniors has allowed me to better understand my students as people. Adrian has shown me that content is important, but relationships are key. I will always teach the curriculum, but I also focus on well-being and mental health more than I ever did. Students are people with real struggles and challenges. Students are not simply numbers or statistics. My goal is to always help them figure out more about themselves and to keep their minds open to new ideas and ways of thinking. There is a big world out there, and I want them to be a positive part of it. Now, I still get lost when driving in this town, and I don't know all the words to the fight song, but Adrian has shown me that anywhere can become home. Thank you.
The Outstanding Alumni Awards recognize those graduates who, with their strength and confidence, did go forth from Adrian Public Schools and make a significant difference in the world. We received several very fine nominations for this award and have had outstanding recipients since this award's inception. Tonight's first alum being recognized is Bruce Brown. Bruce is from the class of 1961.
Bruce Brown, class of 1961, is being recognized as an outstanding alum for his impact in education. Bruce was a special education teacher, history teacher, and coach for over 30 years, finishing his career at Farmington Public Schools. During his extensive career, Bruce calculated he taught over 3,000 students and reached over 1,000 students in soccer, basketball, and track. The nomination letters for Bruce came from former students, parents, peers, family, and friends. Many students spoke of Mr. Brown's love of history. He passed that passion on and ignited a love of history that has lasted a lifetime for them. Parents were often surprised and delighted to witness the newly found love of history that their students exhibited. One former student said, "Mr. Brown made history come alive and taught in a way that was curious. Learning through his teaching was a joy." Another added, "Bruce has a unique ability to give students a sense of ownership in their learning." A former student teacher shared these thoughts. "The value of the wisdom, humor, and knowledge he passed on to me cannot be overstated. I still hope to someday be the educator, to be the great man exemplified by my mentor." Another student added, "I became a teacher because I had a great teacher." It has been said that teachers teach for the outcome, not the income. Bruce's outcomes are truly outstanding as a teacher and a human being. One of his peers shared these insights about Bruce. Bruce has a long history of respect among his fellow peers and students. He was dedicated to instilling the values of integrity, respect, determination, productivity, and excellence. Students always knew they could go to him for assistance, honesty, and advice. He led by example by treating people with respect, lending a hand whenever he could, and taking the initiative when something had to be accomplished. Bruce has also been considered an innovator. He was responsible for adding a number of new classes to the curriculum in order to engage more students. Another nominator wrote, "Bruce strived tirelessly to help his students intellectually. He helped guide them in becoming mature, caring adults. He has led an exemplary life each day in the service to others." Brother Earl Brown added, "When I watched him coach, I could see the respect he had for the student athletes and in turn the respect they had for him." Coaching was a big part of Bruce's life and accomplishments with various championships to his credit. One of his former athletes wrote this description of Coach Brown. "With calmness and intelligence, he listened, questioned, and guided. He never talked down to his athletes, was honest and practical, and always ready with a smile and a hint of laughter in his voice. His techniques taught us to take ownership and responsibility for our role on the team and in our individual performances. He opened the path for the win by careful and thoughtful cultivation, never loud or demonstrative, but commanding respect with his courteous and kind demeanor, while delivering thoughtful and challenging workouts and goals." Bruce's compassion and care for others extends beyond his teaching and coaching. In his community, he works on fundraisers for Neighborhood House, a local charity that helps the area needy pay rent and utility bills. They also maintain a food pantry for local families. He also works each year with the Farmington Hills Goodfellows, who collect and distribute food and toys to the needy in the community at Christmas time. He and his wife Pam host an annual social gathering at their home for family and friends to raise money and food donations for local charities for the holidays. One of the most enduring compliments submitted came from Bruce's grandson, Jason Brown Jr., who stated, "When I think of an outstanding alumnus, my grandpa, Mr. Bruce Brown, is easily first to come to mind. He is truly an outstanding person and one of the best human beings I know. He's a great grandpa to me, but an even better person for the world." Bruce and his wife Pam currently reside in Farmington, Michigan.
I'd like to welcome to the stage Bruce's wife Pam, who will say a few words on Bruce's behalf.
To absolutely no one. It's empty here. Can't see anything. Before I deliver Bruce's comments, which I happily do, having been a school administrator, I have to say to you, I attended awards like this. This is so beautifully done. I came back from one, and one of my teachers walked in the door with me, and I said, "Larry, how do you feel now?" He said, "I've just been dipped in chocolate." May all of you tonight feel dipped in chocolate. So from Bruce, I say, I'm very appreciative, but also very humbled by this award. Thank you. Adrian was a great place for me and my brothers Earl and David to grow up. The environment fostered independence, self-confidence, and problem solving. And Adrian High School was a great place to learn. It set me on a path to higher education, which led to a rich and fulfilling career. It helped me be curious and always wanting to know more. But beyond this award, the process it allowed for a lifetime affirming reward. I thank my lifelong friend Dick Wynn for taking the time and making the effort to not only submit his application, but to seek out many letters of support from my family, colleagues, students, and friends. These have become my reward. After I was selected, Dick sent my wife copies of the letters. She would read one to me each morning at breakfast. I step aside and say, "Great idea." I was asked to then be in contact with the letter writer to have a conversation and reconnect, and also to thank them for their kind words. I would not get to hear the next letter until I had made that contact. This was a life-affirming exercise for me. The connections, the comments, the conversations made this award come alive and become my reward. I thank Dick Wynn for all his efforts. I'm sure that many, many Adrian High School graduates are deserving of the award. Now they only need a Dick Wynn in their lives.
Our next outstanding alum is from the class of 1982, Heather Yerrick.
Heather Yerrick from the class of 1992 is being recognized for her outstanding contributions to the fine arts. Today, Heather is one of the most sought-after wardrobe supervisors in the country. Her journey is a story of exploration, tenacity, hard work, and a love of adventure. Heather says she always knew she wanted to do something out of the ordinary, and she has definitely found her niche. Her passion for theater was lit in high school when she took a drama class, which led to her first experience as stage manager, set in prop construction and lighting. Next, she studied theater design and technical production at Western Michigan University. A 5-year stint at Cedar Point was her next educational adventure, where she was taught to sew and become costume shop foreman, stitcher, stage manager, and show technician. Her career was taking shape, and from there she launched her long list of travels with Broadway shows, including Dragon Tales Live, SpongeBob Musical, The Wizard of Oz, Mamma Mia, American Idiot, Avenue Q, Motown the Musical, Hamilton, and she just finished a run with Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. A wardrobe supervisor's duties are extensive and critical. She is confirming everyone has the right costume, making sure the laundry is done, doing sewing adjustments, supervising a team of costume assistants, designers, standbys and dailies, and managing the wardrobe budget. And to these 1,000 more things that enable the show to go on as planned. It is obvious that good organizational skills are an absolute necessity to be successful at this job. Even though Heather has traveled the world, she continues to give back to her community where her roots were established. Julie Dolan, former Adrian Public Schools teacher and fine arts director, relayed a story of when Heather spoke to a group of students about their career choices. She encouraged the students to embrace opportunities that others might pass up for fear of failing. Her message was, if you want to try it, do it. She added, when asked to do something that you're maybe not an expert at, say yes. That's how you learn. Heather's nomination letters abound with accolades from peers, teachers, and friends. Some of her distinguishing qualities mentioned include, she encourages and mentors others. She has a passion and willingness to share her services, knowledge, and exciting experiences. She is talented, creative, selfless, and generous. It is said that talent attracts talent, and Heather has brought many other students to the Adrian Public Schools theater program, some of whom have continued in their distinguished theater careers. Despite her remarkable success in a highly competitive business, she remains modest and down to earth. She advocates for diversity in the world and has a special place in her heart for those who may be marginalized by others. When in Adrian, Heather can be found most times at the Croswell Opera House volunteering her time and expertise. Heather resides wherever her work takes her, but her family, Mother Lois and Sister Melissa, remain in Adrian, the place she considers home.
So I'm not usually the one in front of the curtain. But yeah, standing up here, I am so grateful for everything, for the foundation I had here at Adrian. We are so lucky in this community to have the Croswell. You guys now have this beautiful theater, which we did not have when I was a student. So many arts available in this community, and as I have worked for the last 30 years with other people also working in theater, most communities don't have this, and I didn't really know that when I left school. I'd figured, everybody kind of had that. They started out, in high school slinging hammers and pulling curtains and stuff. No, not true. Most of my friends out on the road and in other theaters came to it because they're from big cities where there's been a union presence for 100 years, and their parents, their grandparents all worked in it, and it was kind of like, you turn 19, you get your union card, you go in that business, and they don't actually love theater. And I feel so grateful to have come up in a community that really taught me an appreciation for theater. I'm grateful to have family who supported me in what seemingly was a crazy, crazy career choice, coming out of a town where at the time only 3 or 4 people had full-time jobs in theater. I appreciate Tom's MacNaughton's brother John, who was the first person to tell me that I could absolutely make a living in theater, and I'm so grateful he's here tonight. I actually have a bunch of people here from my early years who were mentors, friends who became like family. I've been incredibly blessed over the years, and I am so grateful that having kept those connections with Adrian when the COVID pandemic hit and our entire industry shut down for nearly 2 years, and And I mean, think of everyone you know, and every single one of them is out of work. It's a lot. And I was lucky. I was one of the ones who actually had a place to come back to. I had a community to come back to. Everyone welcomed me with open arms, and I really, when I turned around and left to go back out to San Francisco to continue Harry Potter, it was actually surprisingly hard to leave a place that I had not lived in 28 years. So, yeah, I am grateful and thankful for all of you. I'm so grateful for all the people who came tonight to see me. I have friends and family from Vermont and Wisconsin, and as near as down the street from me, all of whom are here, and I am so incredibly grateful for them. So thank you, everybody.
Our final recognition is an outstanding alum from the class of 1982, Stuart MacDonald.
Abracadabra makes Stuart MacDonald appear. Stuart, from the class of 1982, is being recognized for his accomplishments in the fine arts. This young man started his world-renowned career with a hocus-pocus magic kit he received as a gift while he was still in grade school. His love of magic, unending determination, creativity, and strong communication skills have propelled him into the top 10% of all magicians in the world. This was not a quick nor easy journey and required the support of many mentors and especially his partner and wife, Lori Richardson MacDonald, and a lot of sacrifices along the way. As a senior in high school, he won the Society of American Magicians National Competition, and in 1985, he qualified for the World Championship of Magic in Madrid, Spain. Soon after, Stuart signed a contract to perform as a magician in the college market. That turned into a 10-year gig of the Stuart and Lori Magic Show, where they played to over 1,000 colleges. When they settled back in Adrian, Stuart started his own business and shared his movie-making and marketing skills with numerous groups and organizations. He immersed himself into the community and shared his enthusiasm and creativity at the Croswell Opera House, the Adrian Area Chamber, and with a successful multi-million-dollar bond issue for Adrian Public Schools that provided major updating projects around the district. He also created one of Michigan's most popular seasonal events, The Haunting. Stuart obtained a theater degree from Adrian College in 2011 and was an adjunct professor at the college. His next major stop found him at Whirlpool Corporation as senior training analyst. The skills he developed there changed his life. As a training and development specialist, he learned about building teams, project management, and importantly, lean and continuous improvement, knowledge he then applied to his first passion, magic. He subsequently developed and honed magic acts that won award after award and led to his world tour. Stuart was a 5-time award winner at the Society of American Magicians International Brotherhood of Magicians at its 2017 annual competition. Later that year, he was on the Penn and Teller Fool Us TV show with the famous duo unable to figure out how he did his mirror illusion. In 2018, he placed the highest of any American in history at the World Championship of Magic in South Korea. In 2021, he won the North American Championships of Magic, and he represented the United States at the World Championships. This winter, he was one of the stars on the hit TV show Masters of Illusion on the CW TV network. Stuart is in the Hall of Fame of Magic and the American Museum of Magic for sleight of hand. One of his nominators stated, "It is not just about being a magician where he excels. Stuart is a strong businessman with a full marketing and sales effort as he sells his magic across the world, thus communicating through different languages on every continent. He is an inventor and engineer in order to design props that travel easily and make the magic happen. Stuart is an artist and actor as he creates the beautiful props and develops the storyline. His act is pure theater, character-driven, and storytelling. Stuart's mirror act is set entirely to music, so no matter the language, Stuart's act communicates perfectly." These accomplishments in the world of magic have opened many doors and opportunities for Stuart around the globe. But Stuart is not one who takes without giving. As his fame has spread, he continuously finds ways to share. He is a teacher and always perfecting his skills. He gives lectures on how to use the lean and continuous principles in his magic. He records YouTube and Facebook videos that he publicly shares to demonstrate his improvement process in constant pursuit of perfection. He is encouraging and mentor to many others who want to follow in his footsteps. The story of Stuart's journey from a childhood dream to reality is an inspiration to anyone with an idea and a desire to reach a goal. Stuart and his wife, Lori Richardson MacDonald, also from the class of 1982, currently reside in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Just gonna savor this moment. I have written nothing, but I have so many interesting stories that I want to tell. First of all, I am deeply connected to all of the outstanding alumni except for Mr. Brown. But Tom MacNaughton and John MacNaughton have been mentors of mine since I was a kid. And to this day, they still are mentors. Heather Yerrick. Interesting story about Heather. I decided to create this one act, this mirror act that has gotten me, on television and all over traveling all over the world with it. And after I appeared on the Penn and Teller show, Tobin Ost said, "You got to call Heather Yerrick. Maybe she's got some ideas for you. She's really good connection." So I said, okay. So I give her a call and I said, "Well, what did you think?" And she goes, your top hat is the wrong color. And we labored so hard on that gray top hat. And she also said that it's also the wrong era. So we had a lot more work to do. It's like we won the award. It's like there's nothing left to do. It's like, oh no, there's a lot left to do. So she said, "I want to help you make your top hat." I'm like, okay, cool. So she said, "You got to have a Victorian hat." I bought it, and she said, "Send it to me." So I sent it to her, and we were talking about the color, and she said, "Well, the color, why is it gray?" And I said, "Well, because it shows up better on a black background on stage." And she said, "Have you ever thought of pony?" And I'm like, "Pony? Why?" Or beaver or something like that, but she said pony. And I go, "No, I never thought about pony." She said, "Well, I have some remnants left over." And I go, "Okay, great." So she starts covering the hat with this black pony, from a dead pony apparently. And she said, "It's from Hamilton's coat. It's remnants left over." And I'm like, I said, "Say again?" "Yeah, from Hamilton's coat." So I have a top hat that is part of theater history from Hamilton's coat. And I tell people that at the end of my show, "This is from Hamilton's coat." And they look at me like I'm crazy, but I know. Another story, there was a picture that you saw of her with a young gentleman, Tobin Ost. When I decided to make this illusion, I called Tobin. Now, I didn't know Tobin. I actually found him on the internet, and I wrote to him on Facebook, and he called me 10 minutes later, and he says, "I want to help you out." And I go, "What?" "Yeah, I want to help you out, and if you make it to the World Championships, I'm going to travel with you to Korea." I go, "What?" This is a guy who is a Tony-nominated, like designer for Broadway. And I'm like, "I can't afford you." And he goes, "No problem." He said, "I'm paying it back." And he said, "When I went to elementary school, you brought me up on stage and you did the cut and restored rope trick with me. You introduced me to theater. And yeah, so Tobin Ost and Heather Yerrick, thank you for helping me out. And the other connection too, he's from Adrian High School and Heather's from Adrian High School. And the other connection is when I grew up at this school, there was a little class called Creative Man. And that's where I met my wife, Lori. And in this was a teacher. Her name was Alice Mott. And Alice Mott produced Broadway-level shows out of high school students. I mean, we used the Croswell Opera House, and it was an amazing journey. So when I decided to do this mirror illusion again, I was like, I'll call Alice, see if she'll help me out. And she did. For 7 years, she just grilled me on this act, telling me how awful it is and how terrible it is, and you need to really start digging. And I did. I listened to her. She's still teaching me to this very day. And there was a point where she said, I have no more questions. You've answered them all. So that was like my theater graduation moment from Alice Mott all these years later. But I guess my thing to tell you is that these young people here, Tom MacNaughton is a great, great guy. And you will also have teachers like Alice Mott that will influence you, but they're going to be connected to you, believe it or not, your entire life. And if you ever have questions, they would love to hear from you, especially when you get older. Even if you're born in the 1900s, it's okay. So thank you very much for the honor. I really appreciate it. Thank you. What's that?
Congratulations once again to all of our award recipients. As we wrap things up tonight, I would like to thank all of you for attending this event. We truly saw some wonderful examples of the Adrian Public Schools educational excellence and 3 wonderful examples of our outstanding employees. As you leave the theater tonight, please take note of the art gallery outside the doors to my left. This fall exhibition features students in grades kindergarten through 12th and will be on display through October 28th. Thank you to the entire Fine Arts Department, Annie Howard, and her team for displaying the students' work tonight. I will ask all recipients to please make their way to the stage for a group photo, and everyone is invited to join us in the lobby for a dessert reception afterwards. Thanks, good night, and go Bengals.